Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode here on European Confessions. The following story that you're going to be listening to, it comes from a translation of a message that I received. The translation of that message reads like this. Hello, Brother Nashi, how are you? I am a woman who is aged 35 years old. I have since been married 3 times. I mean, like, the men that have went to my relatives and paid my bride price. There are 3 of those men that I have since gotten married to. My husband and the 2 other guys, they have since passed away because of some of the rituals that I did. So I did these rituals. This was after my sister, my big sister, had lost her husband. She then came and she then started staying with us. So when she was staying with us, I never thought that she'll end up sleeping with my husband, because she was like my elder sister. So it never crossed my mind that she will sleep with my husband. She had lost her own husband. Her husband had died of cancer. So we felt sorry for her. And my husband was the one who suggested that it was far much better that she should come and stay with us. She came and we started staying with her. Then one night, like my sister, she was someone who really loved church. She was always at church. Then me and her, whenever we would go to an all-night prayer, she would always find a reason, like after we would have prepared, and she would be like, you know what, I will go next time. I'm not feeling okay. She would always complain. So on that Friday night, when we had prepared to go to an all-night prayer, like always, she said that she was not feeling okay. She had a tummy ache. So when I was walking to church, that was when I just felt like this gut feeling that something was wrong. Then I thought of returning back home. I returned back home and I waited until they had all fallen fast asleep. And I sneaked in and I went straight to my bedroom and I found her. She was in bed with my husband. At that time, I didn't even know what to do or what to say. When it all happened, it was like a shock to me, because if she was my sister, you know that according to our culture, your little sister can get married to your husband. No problem about that. But as for my elder sister, you know that in our culture, your elder sister, she's more like your mother. So it is a taboo for her to be in bed with your husband. It can never work. So I then kicked her out. I told her that I was just going to let her sleep in my house that night, since it was very late. And I said, the next thing, early in the morning, I want you to pack all of your bags and I want you to go to leave my house. I don't want to see you again. So me and my husband, we spoke, and my husband, I had forgiven him. The next morning, to my surprise, when I woke up, my husband, he had already bathed and he was busy ironing his clothes. And I was like, where are you going to? Because during weekends, he did not go to work. So he did not respond to me. And I was like, hold up a minute, because I saw that he was busy ironing the clothes and placing them in this other small suitcase. And he told me that wherever your sister goes, so I will go with her, because with everything that I did with her, do you think that there will be another man who would want to marry her? So that is how my husband got to have 2 wives. Apparently, she was much more experienced in bed than I was. So my husband, he now had 2 wives. And me and my sister, we started fighting. She did not want me to control her, since I was the first wife and she was the younger wife. So we fought a lot. And I then decided to leave. And when I left, I was in pain, because everyone at church, instead of helping me out, they were in support of what my sister and my husband had done. So I did not know where to go to. I then went to my friend. But as for my friend, I did not like her. You know, you have that type of a friend where she's your friend, but you do not want to be so close to her. She was that type of a friend that I had, because she liked going to traditional healers using a lot of charms. Her house was always smelly because she kept a lot of those charms as if she was a herbalist. But I was desperate. I started staying with her. When I started staying with her, I needed an income. So she was dating a lot of married men. So my friend then introduced me to this other man who was a smooth talker. He was a married man, indeed I knew, but I thought that him dating me, he wanted me to become his second wife. Only when we started dating, that was when I realized that I was not the only one. And at that time, when I found out that he had multiple partners, I had already fallen in love with him, and I could not let go of him. He then told me that he wanted to eliminate his other girlfriends and he wanted to marry me. I then decided to tell my friend about this situation, and she took me to this other traditional healer because she was also using charms to date married men. I was then taken to the traditional healer, who was a woman. She then made me to sleep in her dining room, but she gave me this other clay plate. They use it normally in the white garment churches. Inside that clay plate, I saw that there were some charcoals that were there. Those charcoals, they were red hot throughout the night. They never went cold. So what I was doing is that she had given me a timetable, and then I would wake up, I would take that clay plate, then I will place it between my legs, and I will steam myself until I felt like really hot down there. So as I will be sweating, the sweat that will be coming out of my private part will fall straight into that clay plate. I did this throughout the night until it was really painful and sensitive down there. And after that, she then removed this other fat from that clay plate. She then told me that when I was busy steaming myself, that fat that she said most of the women out there, they have that fat on their womb. That fat is what makes their husbands to hate them, to mistreat them. She then said that since this evil fat had fallen from my womb, inside my private part, the only sweetest part was left. So much that if I will ever make love to a man, that man will go crazy about me. She said that there is just sweetness that is remaining in your private part. So naturally, I wanted to go and test it out. Obviously, I tested out on someone's husband. In that area that I was staying, there was this other woman. She had her husband. They were very happy. They were a happy couple. So one night, I watched the husband leaving. He was going to this other tuck shop. I ran and I started walking right behind him. When we were at the tuck shop, I then asked him to wait up for me because I was scared. I then walked with him, and as I was walking with him, I asked him to touch me, and he touched me, and I said, "Please sleep with me. I miss making love to a man." He hesitated, but he agreed. We then slept together in the bushes, and he was like, "I did not know that there are women out there that are nice to make love to." From there on, I kept on dating that guy until he destroyed his own marriage. At that time, my sister, she had already gotten married to my husband, and they had their wedding in church. Like the whole church was supporting everything that they were doing. And this made me to feel like really painful, and there were people that told me that she had fallen pregnant. Me and my friend, we then returned back to that traditional healer, and I told that traditional healer that I wanted her to sort out my sister, for this is what she had done to me. And she said she was going to help me to make them feel the pain that I had felt all the time. The traditional healer then told me that the charms that she wanted to give me, those charms, they had a side effect. She said, like when you go to a pharmacy, if you buy any medication, then you have to know that there is going to be a side effect. So if I am giving you these charms, then you need to know that there are some things that are going to happen to you. But she did not tell me the side effects. She said, all that you have to do is you have to convince your ex-husband to sleep with you one more time. So I was given those charms. And I then spoke with my ex-husband when I knew that he was at work, and I said, me and the kids, we do not have anything to eat. I have been stubborn, I know, because my husband will call and say that he wants to see the kids, and I'll say, no, you will never see your kids again. So I apologized and I humbled myself before him. And I could tell that the man was excited when I invited him. He was like, okay, I'm going to speak with your sister so that we can have a small family reunion. And I said, no, please do not do that, because I did not want my sister to know. I wanted to sleep with him. He came. And as for my friend then went for a sleepover. And when my ex-husband came, I wore clothes that were really attractive, a short miniskirt, and I was busy seducing him, cooking for him, until I then went and I put the kids to bed. And we started talking. And I told him that I missed him. I wanted to make love to him, and he agreed. So when I was sleeping with him, I then infected him with a spiritual disease that he went and he gave that spiritual disease to my sister. My sister then passed away. After my sister had passed away, then my ex-husband, he got so sick that his relatives asked me to take care of him, and I said it is fine. Then I moved out of my friend's house. Then I started to stay with him somewhere else. Punishing him, this is what I will do. I would bring my boyfriends, and I will tell the men that I would have brought into my bedroom when my husband will be in bed. We will remove him from the bed, and I will just place him on the floor. Throughout the night, I would hear his agony as he was groaning in pain, hearing his wife making love to another man. The healer did not tell me that the charms that she had given me, I had to be a prostitute. So I thought of staying with my husband. Then my husband passed away. And after that, I felt so lonely. Then I got married. But the marriage only lasted for a very short period of time. Then my second husband passed away. And I lost another man that I had gotten married to again. So it seems as if I can only date, only sleep with men, and I am not allowed to get married. Dear listeners, right there was a message that was sent to me by one of our dear sister. That was the narration of that message that she sent to me. Strange things indeed they do happen in this world.